Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's get right into the Friday, July 25th MLB Picks. A quick recap from yesterday. We'll talk about that. But if you guys are all new to the channel, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. TGIF, let's get the bets going and talk about the card that we do have coming in the MLB. 15 games. Got to be honest, we'll kind of preface this by saying this is a tough card. We do have a lot of wind blowing out today across the board throughout all of the MLB stadiums that are played outdoors, I should say. And the one thing I will kind of mention is it's an interesting one, okay? We are ahead of the trade deadline. We saw Naylor rolled out and the Diamondbacks dealt him, so that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out, and kind of just stemming off of what we could see potentially, maybe some pitcher outs going under if you do get some arms on the move, and it can work both ways, right? If you just look for some opportunities within that as we do await the trade deadline coming very, very shortly. So if we do get kind of many of those news and nuggets, I will post them in real time on the Discord. It's something where I'll just do a notification because it is kind of hard to keep up with. Sometimes you get those really quick updates to just relay that information here in this video because it is ever evolving. Okay, so let's get into the action. I will give you guys my 3 best bets. Like I said, I don't love this card, full disclosure. So if you guys are looking to tail me, great. If not, good luck, and we'll kind of talk to you about these totals that I'm going to be targeting. I'm just looking to make a 2 and 3 move, stack a couple, and then just move on till tomorrow, where we do have a little bit more favorable card in terms of pitching. But my 3 handicaps led me to these totals, so we're going to talk about that as well as a couple other games that I do favor as well. All right, so let's get into Outlier. This is the platform that we use to break down the games. We are going to kind of breeze through this card because, like I said, there's a lot of things going on that we want to talk about. All right. Miami and Milwaukee. And first, let me go back to kind of what we did yesterday. In transparency's sake, we split the board. The Guardians losing by 1, but cashing on that Toronto at a plus money proposition. So the Toronto money line at plus money was very favorable. And that was a plus 115. So ended up actually slightly profitable on the day. So kind of just, we'll take it any day into the green. We'll take. All right. Miami and Milwaukee. That's going to be the first game on the docket. Tried to find a way to bet this game. All right. Freddie Peralta has been phenomenal since coming basically after that little short stint where he kind of was getting beat around early on in the season, but now 12-4, 2.85 ERA going against Cal Quantrill, who had a pretty decent start as of recent. This is a kind of a fishy game for me as well. Brewers are minus 230. They're playing the best baseball, probably in my opinion, in the MLB right now. If you can find a dance partner, Brewers money line. Brewers not the bat at home in the 9th, and yeah, you could pretty much bang that one home, and that would be how I would approach that game. Outside of that, not going to get involved on the run line. Marlins can kind of scrap hitting the baseball, so that one does give me some worry if they do want to keep it close. Okay. Diamondbacks and Pirates, like I said, Josh Naylor on the move. But as we talk about Burrows hosting Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks, 6-2 on the year. This is one where I think that the Snakes may see a little bit of a morale letdown. I'm staying away from this game. We'll talk about the Diamondbacks. They're now kind of in sell mode as you do look for a 50-53 club. Going on the road to play Pittsburgh. Sneaky game for Pittsburgh, okay? I just think that personally both of these two teams, really, we have no way of knowing what kind of effort we're going to get. It is a business. The one thing I will tell you guys is despite having that record, Arizona Diamondbacks are a top 5 team in baseball right now in of pretty much every offensive category, and surprisingly enough, Pittsburgh is 13th in the last a couple weeks. They are top 15 in a lot of categories, so slightly above middle of the pack offensively. So if you do want to target kind of a little bit of Diamondbacks money line here, cheap on the road at minus 125, why not? But the one thing I will say is the Pirates have won 3 straight. So if I was going to get involved with this game, you kind of have to look for the potential for a blowout. I think the better pitcher goes to the favor of the Diamondbacks, so I would take the Diamondbacks minus 1.5 at plus 140. That would be a lean, okay? Next play that we're going to get into, Philadelphia Phillies and the Yankees, right? So the Bronx Bombers hosting the Phillies, and they've been a kind of a resurgent team, if you will, but they are very hot and cold, okay? There's times where we look at kind of runs scored and kind of those Phillies games that they win 2-1 based on pitching, stuff like that. All right, if it probably will shock you guys, but the Philadelphia Phillies are almost dead last in runs scored. That's the only reason this does give me pause. However, I think that with these two pitchers going together, and we do have the wind blowing out, and also it's in that Yankee Stadium, I think this is going to be kind of a cream rises to the top kind of game. Bryce Harper's been playing outstanding offensively, and as always, the Yankee players we do kind of favor. The one thing I'll say about the Yankees, though, and this one is kind of relevant, is they are not playing good defense, right? We were in that handicap within the Blue Jays. They're kicking the ball around a little bit, and that does create more bases and more opportunities to score. It doesn't really show up in the box score per se, but the Yankees, if you do put offensive pressure on them, they're going to kick it around a little bit. So I do think this game goes over the total. I liked the Phillies as well at plus 140, but for me, guys, the over 10 at minus 106 is my value. That's what we're going to be betting, okay? Rockies and Orioles. The Orioles, they score a ton of runs at home. We'd look at Dean Kramer and Kyle Freeland. Runs. Okay, over 9 is kind of where I stack up on this one. I'm not going to play it, but that is kind of another over I do like. I think that the Rockies are a little bit live in this game at plus 180. I just think we could get a potential for a shootout. And, you know, even that plus 1.5 at minus 115 is attractive. Just kind of how I feel about it. Although Baltimore does have the better pitcher going, so that is something that would lean me kind of into that coin flip territory. You're better off with value. You're better off with the home team that does have more of a propensity to score runs. So that's kind of where you got to make a decision on that game. For me, it's a pass. Okay, Blue Jays Tigers. If Jose Barrios wasn't going for the Blue Jays, I would be going right back to him, laying the Blue Jays minus 115. No play for me. This is something where I think we get some runs as well as the wind. We'll be blowing in a little bit here. One of the only stadiums that it will be, as we've seen the total shift from 9 to 8.5. But for me and my money, guys, if I was going to play this game, I would line up with the Blue Jays, and they are a top 5 team in pretty much every offensive statistic. To go alongside Vladimir Guerrero, who has been a top 5 hitter in all of baseball, in a lot of in batting average pretty much over the last couple weeks. So that's something you can look into. Some Vladdy hits, runs, RBIs. I do think he stays hot going against Kiter Montero for the Tigers. Okay, Angels and Red Sox takes us to our next official play. We're going to go over. Okay, another one. I'm sorry, Angels and Red Sox. This will be one where we will go over the total of 10. I think Boston, winds blowing out. The Dodgers, Boston, kind of similar to New York and Philly. A little bit of an outlier, as Boston has not scored 10 runs or more. Only one time in the last 10 games. Same thing goes for the Dodgers as we look for them. Basically 40%. They've scored 4 out of their last 10, they've scored 10 or more. I just think this one is a little bit of an outlier. That's why we're going to bet it. Kind of like how we did a couple days ago, where you just kind of have to trust your numbers. And despite where the public's at, where the money's at, I think Sheehan and Bayo, great pitchers, you know, a lot of prospects with there. But I also think that offensively, both of these clubs are shining bright. So I will take the over. And this is kind of me, personal play, okay? This is going to be contrarian in the market. A lot of people will be betting the opposite direction. But for me and my money, I'm going to take a stab at the Dodgers, Red Sox going over, okay? And it's an over kind of day for me if you want to kind of look at it from a full card mentality. Same thing you can say about Tampa Bay, Cincy, Zach Littell and Nick Martinez. I do like the over in this spot as well. Also, I do like the Rays. However, they've been reeling 3 out of their last 10 games that they have won. One thing I will say is I think the Reds here, it's either going to be a close game that they win, or the Rays are going to blow them out. If you look at kind of offensively what we've been dealing with, the interesting thing to note is that both of these clubs are not really doing too much special in either direction. Okay, Tampa Bay kind of at the bottom of the pack offensively as of recent, and Cincinnati's top half. So that's kind of what I look at to kind of gauge where clubs are at. You're either top half or bottom half. That's a huge divide when we talk about kind of where we're at from a team batting average, sluggage, a lot of efficiency numbers that I do track day to day. That's kind of where I would look for the Reds potentially live at home at a flat money price minus 102, and or the plus 1.5 at minus 165. Okay, but no official play. San Diego and the Cardinals. That was a game yesterday where I wish I would have bet it. One of my strongest leans was taking that over yesterday with the Padres, and now we get Nick Pivetta going against Miles Mikolas. Full disclosure, I think the Padres might be on the verge of breaking out. Don't quote me, because Nick Pivetta has been absolutely impressive. 2.81 ERA, 10-2 on the season. Those are some pretty damn good numbers, okay? Pretty, I don't want to say the word starts with C, but pretty, Cy Young-esque, if you will, for a pitcher that is in the back end of his career. So we also kind of have to talk about that. And I think the Padres break out in this game. I think the handicap's right, -140. I potentially would even look into the Padres here in the over at 8.5. That's kind of where I stack up, but no official play. Cubs, White Sox, this could be your matchup where you pair Imananga and the Cubs with the Brewers in a moneyline parlay if you do want to. Hauser has been impressive, though, for the White Sox. 5-2, 1.89 ERA. No play for me. We stay in the Windy City for this one, guys. This one usually can get a little chippy. The wind will be blowing not out, but to the side as we do look for that Windy City effect in Chicago. But at Wrigley, I think it does have a little bit more of a handicap. This game could go under, okay, 8.5. This could be an under spot, kind of where I'm looking, but I do think that the Cubs with the Brewers would probably be how I would approach this game. Those are two of my teams that I would favor in that regard. Okay, a couple last games to talk about and get into before we get into the final bet that I'm going to give out. The Braves and Rangers. I do like the Braves in the spot. Nathan Eovaldi does 7-3, 1.58 ERA. This is a game where the under 8 does come into the question, but I think the Braves could end up prevailing against the Rangers here, although the Rangers have won 8 of their last 10. Just kind of a little play on the +145, not an official play, but I do think the Braves are a little sneaky here at +145. All right. Athletics, Astros, tough game to handicap. The Astros, like we've talked about, Jose Altuve, he's been tearing the cover off of the baseball, and you look at kind of what we're talking about within the Houston Astros. In the Athletics, I do think that Houston has a lay-down spot where they just don't have their lineup correct yet. I think that Gusto has been pretty serviceable, 6-3, 4.4 ERA. But when it comes down to it, guys, and we're looking at these numbers, you talk about Houston at a -158 price, going against a scrappy Athletics bunch. I can't get down with that. That's a no play for me, so this will be a pass. We talk Nationals and Angels. This is one where we'll see Brian Wu going on the road to face Soriano. Okay, cheap price for Brian Wu, as they did just acquire Josh Naylor. As you look for that -132, Brian Wu 8-5 on the year, kind of an eye opener. All right, they're not pitching in Seattle, but if I was going to handicap this game, although I will say the Angels have been playing some great offensive baseball as well. Looking at Brian Wu's last few starts, maybe Brian Wu to record a win. I think the Mariners get this one done. Kind of cheap little road price, but it does deserve some respect, as -132 is a big number to lay on the road. All right. Nationals, Twins, I don't have a play in that game. Personally, I think this could be an over. That's kind of where I'm at within this. Also, the other game we didn't talk about is the fact that we have Gavin Williams taking on Michael Wacha, Guardians and Royals. The Guardians have been probably, if not the second hottest team in baseball, winning 7 out of their last 10 games. Winning streak comes to an end, as we did lose on that play yesterday. So we'll tip our caps. We'll move on, and let's get back on a winning streak because we did ride the Guardians pretty hard, and they were profitable over the last 10 games or so. So I would go back right to the Cleveland squad as a -102 moneyline price in backing Gavin Williams, who I think will have some success pitching there in Kansas City. Okay. And then the last game on the board, 10:15 first pitch, East Coast, is Mets and Giants. This is going to be the last one we talk about within Clay Holmes and Logan Webb. Contrarian play again. I'm going to go over the total of 7.5. I think that the Giants have went 5 straight overs of scoring 8 runs or more. -104. I would lay the over 7 modified alternate line, but at -145, that's too much juice. So we'll stick there at 7.5. I think the Giants Mets, we get some fireworks. So let's go over 7.5. So 3 overs to wrap up the card. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have not yet done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us here on the channel. Completely free to do so. All right. Good luck on your picks. Have a great Friday, great weekend. The 3 plays, we're going Philly, New York over 10, Dodgers, Boston over 10, and the Mets, San Francisco Giants over 7.5 to wrap up this Friday card. So good luck on it. Let's cash some tickets. We'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.